The Prime Minister's office has spelt out the terms of reference for the review of salaries for the President and political appointment holders. A statement released today says the review will cover the President, Prime Minister, political appointment holders and members of Parliament to help ensure honest and competent government.
Your favour, affection.
Prime Minister Hsien Loong has decided that the new salaries will take effect from the day the new government took office, which is Saturday, 21st May. As for the President's salary, the statement says it will commence from the new term of the President. However, President S.R. Nathan has informed the Prime Minister that he too will adopt the new salary from the term of the new government. The statement added that the President's salary should reflect his status as a head of state. It should also take into account that, unlike the Prime Minister, he does not have direct executive responsibilities. The 7 new members of the review committee were also announced today. They're from the private sector, labour movement and social sector. Mr. John De Peva, President of the National Trades Union Congress, Ms. Fang Ai Lian, Chairman of the Charity Council, Mr. Stephen Lee, President of the Singapore National Employers Federation, Mr. Poat Sheikh Abu Bakar Mata, Member of the Council of Presidential Advisors and Public Service Commission, Mr. George Kwek, Founder and Chairman of Bread Talk Group, Mr. Lucien Wong, Managing Partner of Allen & Gledhill, and Mr. Wong Ngit Leong, CEO of Venture Corporation Limited. The chairman of the Review Committee on Salaries, Mr. Gerard Yee, said his team will adopt a very different model in making its recommendations.
Prime Minister Hsien Loong announced that political salaries will be reviewed at a swearing-in ceremony for the new cabinet. Leading the committee is Mr. Gerard Yee, chairman of the National Kidney Foundation and Changi General Hospital. Mr. Yee said he was approached by Deputy Prime Minister Tharman Shanmugaratnam less than a week ago.
I had to ask myself honestly whether I would be able to be really neutral about it and look at it very objectively like a professional. And when I was comfortable with that view, that I accepted the appointment.
Mr. Yee said his committee comprises independent-minded people who are known to speak their mind and have the intellect to tackle such a major task. Singapore ministers are among the highest paid in the world. Their salaries are currently benchmarked to 2/3 of the median income of the top 8 earners from 6 professions in the private sector, such as lawyers. Prime Minister Lee has said that politics is not a job or a career promotion, but a calling.
Well, inclinations, obviously, once the PM say it should reflect the ethos and values of the political appointment, you can expect that in all probability it would be a cut.
The committee will look at job specifications and the general wage levels in Singapore, but work in a significant discount from private sector pay for ministers' salaries.
The starting point is look at the work, what it entails, determine that value, and then in order to incorporate the ethos and values of a political appointee, that's where you then work in a substantial discount on it. Now, the second part is the one that is subjective, and in everybody's mind, they have a figure for the discount. And you will not be able to satisfy everybody, but you must just be fair and be able to defend your final decision.
Mr. Yee said the committee will need to collect a lot of data involving experts in human resource. It will then make recommendations which will still need to be robustly debated in Parliament.
Although political office holders face a possible cut in their salaries, they say the review is timely.
Nothing is sacrosanct. Having said that, I would like to leave the committee to do its work without interference and without us trying to prejudge or prejudice the issue.
There must be a certain sacrifice on the employed person's part, so in this case the MP or the minister, in terms of taking that sort of cut so that you show that it's not only a case of doing a job, that you actually want to serve the people. In that sense, if there was a cut, I would have no problem and I probably would welcome it.
One political analyst also agrees with the intention to assess salaries according to workload, but it's important to agree on some major principles first.
Principles like whether we should consider the different portfolios within the government as how we reward different ministers differently. Obviously, today nobody questions how much you would pay your Prime Minister and MM. They're worth every cent and more. But by the same token, people feel that the junior ministers ought not to be as well rewarded until and unless they've proven themselves.
He says he hopes the team will be competent enough to achieve a consensus with Singaporeans.
Certainly you need some intellectual input, professional input, but I think minister's salary is something that even men in the street have a say about it or has an opinion about it. And as part of consensus building, I think it's good to have a diverse group of people.
He expects the committee's recommendations to be widely debated in Parliament.